This is the car that's followed me throughout the entire history of Savage Garage. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Savage Garage. Today I wanted to do a little something more intimate, talk about my Pagani Huayra and everything that happened with it over the period of time of me owning it. Talk about why I sold it, though you may not know that yet, and what are the reasons why I sold it. Pagani itself, when you see it in pictures, it's a very beautiful car. But when you see it live, you see it for the first time, the only way to describe it is art. It really, everything about it, the fit, the finish, the materials, everything on it looks custom and hand-built. And it is it's a romantic car. There's so much about it. You can literally stare at the car for hours and not see everything. So Savage Garage launched its first video in May. Technically speaking, we formed Savage Garage, Jimbo and I, in April. I sat down with Jimbo in my house and we sat down and talked about how we want to run the channel and what we want to do, and bringing on my friends, bringing on people for the channel to enjoy. And according to Jimbo, I don't remember this off the top of my head, but he remembers me texting. Either it's gotta be Donnie at Iluso, or I don't know who had the car before that. I can't remember off the top of my head. But I saw the Pagani, and I was like, oh my god, I gotta get this car. And I texted them and talked to them, and the car was still very, very expensive. Now it's Monterey Car Week 2019.
Into the four banger.
We had a lot of fun. We brought out the cars, brought out the SVJ, a couple other cars. We walked down from the main parking area down to the staging area, and the first area on the left is the DuPont registry display. I look over and I swear my head spun so fast, because there's what I think is my Pagani, or my future Pagani, sitting on the lawn, and I couldn't believe it. I'm like, how is this car following me?
Randy, I think I remember getting a text message with this car in it.
Yes, this car. So I was saying I want a Pagani. I still want a Pagani. But again, I like having variety, beating up my cars and all that stuff. This car, the Pagani, is just, it's a piece of artwork. So he calls me up and says, hey, there's a black one for sale for around 1.9 million. And I'm like, really? I'm like, okay, let me start making the calls and doing that. And I'm putting together, so I'm gonna sell this, because I try to keep the garage balanced. Now, I would have bought this anyway. It's amazing. That's amazing.
Thank you, Randy.
It's perfect.
Just bought a bunch.
Look at this instrument cluster.
Oh, I know. It's ridiculous. It's awesome.
It's like a piece of, it's literally like, it's a Panerai watch. It's a...
My first experience sitting in a Pagani. And wow, this thing just, I mean, it looks like jewelry on the inside. And I think the price at that point was, you know, a little over $2 million.
Houston, we have a problem. Look what came back to haunt me. It's back. It's the third time we've run into this car. Yes.
At that point, I wasn't ready to commit to something like that. I love the car, but I kind of walked out the shop with a kind of a sad walk, and that's what it was, and I left it there.
Oh my God! Holy
Now, fast forward a year later, we're at the Fast Life Rally Wills event, and we pull the cars into the mansion, and then all of a sudden, down the walkway to the main area, to the front gate, pulls the Pagani. Seeing the car, I'm like, wait a second, it doesn't look like my car, because granted, it was a year prior I saw it on the lawn, and now this was kind of like, this day was more rainy and overcast kind of feel, so it was a different color. The car was I couldn't imagine that car was that car that I saw at Iluso, that I saw at Monterey. It didn't make sense. Loved the car, and then left. Went on my day.
Have you sat in that one yet?
Scott's car's beautiful.
Have you sat in that Pagani yet?
I sat in that exact one that's black.
Then the next steps happen. And what happens is, I am so now focused on getting a Pagani that I went to Prestige. This was a very special car. It was a carbon-bodied, all carbon-bodied Euro car.
Yeah. Now hold the heel.
Though beautiful, carbon body, all that stuff, it was very hard to register in the United States because of the fact that it had not gone through the safety regulations for the United States. The car's since been sold to Europe, and that's where, you know, it belongs. But I was really upset. And I was frustrated. I said, you know what? I'm going to call Donnie and see if he has that car that I sat in, the original car. I said, hey, Donnie, do you still have that Pagani that was in your dealership? And he says, no, it's at my buddy Scott's dealership. I said, Scott? He says, yeah, you know Excel Motors. I said, that's the car? He has the car? He says, yeah. I said, dude, I want the car. I want it now. And lo and behold, I'm standing in the parking lot of Prestige, and I closed that deal within about 20 minutes. And believe it or not, Excel Motors was what, 30 minutes, 40 minutes from where my house is? Unbelievable. I literally have no words to describe how excited I was, because that's the car I wanted. It's not, I didn't want the carbon bodied car, I did, but this is the car that's followed me throughout the entire history of Savage Garage. And it was my car, and I wasn't gonna let it get away again.
I was just about to ask the same thing.
Are we getting off?
So I got the car, very excited, immediately get it sent over to Detail Boutique. Car's wrapped beautifully. I decided to make a wheel color change, do the wheels in black. I thought the car just looked menacing after that. I first decided, actually kind of funny to say, that I wasn't gonna take it on rallies. I'm gonna just treat it like my child. Nah, I just took it on rallies and just went ham on it. But next time on Savage Garage, we're gonna talk about the experience of going on Gold Rush with it. Then we're gonna talk about the 6-figure repair that I did on it, and the final step of me selling the car. So stay tuned for that. Stay savage, everybody.
I heard you outside yelling about the Pagani.
The Pagani.
And it took me 30 seconds to get back in the car, Randy.
I got 3 fucking cars and I want yours!